Hello friends and fellow Monkeyology enthusiasts! We are back with our last part of the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade FM Towns version playthrough that we've been doing. To be totally honest, this video is going to probably... The playthrough will get through pretty quick, and then the rest of it will be some chatting on the subject and whatnot. That we did during the stream at the end. That was just really fun, so I wanted to leave it in. Anyways, we are going to join Indy in the Grail Chamber and make our so let's see if we choose wisely or not. Thanks for joining us. Let's continue. Not right. You don't understand. My father is wounded in the temple. Gotta find the Grail or he'll die. Very well, I see your intentions are pure. Choose. We're gonna pause there because I'm sure there's a timer. And I now have to use the hints that we got, but we went back. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll just say. I mean, just trial and error. Like, we could actually solve the thing too, but we gotta save in a spot where we're not supposed to be able to save, and it's like, okay, so it said we went back to, oh wait, no, but we didn't, because I had the picture. That's inappropriate. Oh god, I have Quest for Glory 4 pictures in here. I'm playing that on the side. Actually, I have been playing on the side the new King's Quest reboot. Well, not new, it's old now, but it's a wonderful little game. It really is. I'm in the last chapter of it right now. It works in tandem with like all those games for a reboot. All of those things are part of the canon with minor changes. Choice here was between the Persian manuscript Eldroth sent to Tad or the book found by Stoddard. Grail close. So the Grail you want, I think, is a dented, shallow pewter bowl with a grail. Right. We're going to choose that one then. That was good. Pick up. My mom's a leather worker. I'm gonna get her to make me a replica grail diary. Wow. This looks like a couple of carpet. Wow. Okay, so use it with water. So I honestly didn't realize how. I just run to my dad now, or? Ah, there's the water. Found it. Silly questions. Thank you for having faith that I would just figure it out. Should I walk to the right a little? Aw. You know what? I'm gonna reload just so we can get that death scene in the video too. It's a nice close up. Okay, I'll save here. I'm going to go back for the death scene and then I can just come right back here. Load. Just grab any old one. But should you say it, Elsa? Let's see. Hey, Fanatic. Thanks for joining us. Got blended in into everything. Use. I want the best. Oh no. Is it this or the one following? Because I used to get that with so many different things. Like, this becomes a skeleton. Oh, oh, Purcell. That's awesome. Very, very much a Purcell animation. Oh, got shot again. It's just like, and we get to see him just eviscerate Mandible in the next game too. I love Purcell's animations now, and I was saying this earlier. I understand why he doesn't really come back when, we're like, oh, they're remaking this. It's because that was one of his early jobs, right? Like, he's moved on past that, but he is wonderful. There are lots of possible endings here. It does grant immortality. His quest was for immortality. Did we just turn Indiana Jones' dad into Dracula? Shit. Like, that seems like something went terribly wrong with the Grail after all these centuries. Oh. Elsa just died. Well, we'll show the Elsa death here because I'm sure It's another great persona animation. Oh no, Elsa! Why? Nice going, Elsa. Jeez. Get it! Oh, epic. Yeah, just thought of that. Not so, but like, well, let's run away with it because we're gonna reload and try to save Elsa anyway. Screw you guys! It's my grail now. Oh no! Really, really, Junior? Why? Don't call me Junior. That's great. All right, let's load that up through the miracles of Scumvia. What happened to Donovan? Don't say, don't ask. He was so eager to follow you, he just lost his head. Nice. Like, he would have, too, if at the other side of the trap Indy didn't jam something in there to keep it from, like, Indy disabled that. That's the only reason why they made it to the next part. But I don't know how Donovan made it through the next two. That's ridiculous. Interesting. Third brother, still alive? Yeah, he's just over there, man. He might come out and say hi, give a little wave. Mark is my old friend. Where's that pickup command? Alright. So we know what happens here. Basically, if I give it to her now that we see the scene that we just had, and then I'm given the same choice, I'm just going to give it to the knight, I do believe. Yeah, no, then he'd be able to see that, no problem. I guess that was... But the word pit. I don't know. That was probably the only part of getting in there that made him sweat it all. Because Indy did all the hard work, like usual. Okay. We're just going to hang out here, be the Grail Club. Okay. Yes, you indeed have the heart of a true knight. Your nobility has kept the Grail safe, and this temple unspoiled. May you find your true path. I do hope that the new Indy movie gives the character the proper send-off and the recognition. He never did it for recognition, but in fact, I hope, because it takes place like in the 80s years later, I hope he's famous and it drives him nuts. I hope that's how they do it. We named the dog Indiana. We named you Henry Jr. Come to think of it, my father had a cat named Marcus. Why wasn't my father's It wasn't my father's secretary named Elsa. No, I don't think I've seen those. No. Wait, follow me, Indy. What? Are we really following Marcus? Why are we suddenly following Marcus? Okay, yeah, no, that's a bad idea. Do you see, like, everybody else has gone through more than Marcus, and Marcus is in rough shape, dude. 462 out of 480. That's okay. IQ points. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Designed and scripted by Ron Gilbert, David Fox, and Noah Falstein. Art and animation by Jim McLeod, Dayton Dollar, Martin Cameron, and Steve Purcell. I still say, I mean, those animations that we identified have to be Purcell animations. Oh, okay. Towns conversion by James Lederman. He's probably the person who did a lot of the Towns conversions. Lucero, Turchin. Brett Barrett. No Donaldson, Steve Purcell. Steve Purcell did whip research for this. Nice. Nazi trivia research was Martin Cameron. Margarita imbiber was Brian Moriarty. The original story was nice. Sam Max appears courtesy of Steve Purcell. Programmed on location at Skywalker Ranch. Additional programming in 7 FAO. Laserdisc and videotape available from Paramount Pictures. This is probably one of their first giant multimedia events. Was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and if you think about all the different things that came out with it, of course there's Star Wars, but I mean for the level of budget that they did, because all of the art, everything that. You must now bring up the save load game and select load. This will save your correct series IQ. Oh. All right, so we got select load and. Load that. Why not? Okay. All right. So that was a lot less game than I was expecting it to be. In this for today's stream, to be totally honest, it was barely 40 minutes. So on our next game, we will be going to Loom, and I look forward to that very, very, very much. Wow, they're just like chatty. Let's pause that. That's very. So we're going to be going to Loom, and I figure we should stick with what we're doing and go with the FM Towns version. Although if I wasn't, I would do the 16-color EGA. That is likely what I'm going to... Once we get to Monkey Island, I'm going to play the 16-color EGA. Because frankly, I think that's the version that's harder for people to get access to legitimately these days. You have the options of playing the special editions and having the VGA versions, and well, the FM Towns version, you know, it's got its unique meat and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's very much the same sort of thing. Yeah, yeah. And one thing that the EGA version has, and of course there's like the VGA version with the same interface as the EGA version as well, which is what I made my son Damien play through for his first time through, because I'm fun that way, I guess. But the 16 color EGA, we're gonna make it with the copy protection enabled. For the Loom playthrough, I did. Loom is one I know pretty much from beginning to end, but I always play it in standard, not expert. So I'm thinking I might do it expert this time just for the sake of that extra scene. Playing with stuff. But we'll see. We'll see at that point. We'll see what we do there. Let's see. Do I have any other instances of this currently loaded into this ScumVM that I can throw a little bit more video into? Let's return to launcher. Just the VGA one. Start. So this one, the audio probably wouldn't have gotten me content ID'd immediately. I didn't even finish uploading the videos for the Indy playthroughs.
I have to go get the kids from school.
Okay, my love.
Love you.
I love you.
Script.
Okay. And, yeah, no. Basically, and I got a little bit derailed there, actually, last one. But it's such personal artwork, too. I was actually super nostalgic for Last Crusade today. Squish, squish. What's the squish sound? Oh, that's an appropriately ad-lib switch. Squish sound. Just a little bit more colors. But yeah, no, it got. I hadn't even finished uploading those indie playthrough videos before I got content ID struck, which it's still allowed to be played. It didn't get ripped down. It's just I won't be able to monetize once I hit that point. Which oh well, big deal. That any revenue generated by it will be sent to, I guess, the current Spanish firm that owns the Indiana Jones music, which surprises me. But it's interesting enough. All right, so I guess this has been Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I guess on Wednesday we will be jumping straight into Loom. I mean, we could play the FM Towns version, but I think yeah. Do you have to play it on Expert to get the scene in the FM Towns version? For some reason in my head, I'm thinking that it just plays that way anyway. Okay, no, it happens either way. All right. Yeah, and I don't want to play the Talkie CD version. I have it. It's a good version. So I hadn't been able to play it for years and years because of runtime errors, and then it just wouldn't work right, and then my discs weren't working of the version that I had. Then my buddy Mike had the Talkie version. I'm like, oh, cool! Finally get to play it again. And then I realized how different it was. And I was missing all those close-ups and like everything. The whole portrayal just seemed a lot different. Yeah. I don't know. Just, I'd prefer the non-talkie, to be totally honest. Is if you could, rip the audio, but unfortunately it doesn't match up because of liberties that they took while reading the script. So like you couldn't even just rip the files and make an ultimate Loom talkie version without having it go off the rails in certain areas, which I mean wouldn't be the worst. Have you played Quest for Glory 4? Shadows of Darkness? These guys did not follow the script 90% of the time. It's a wonderful game, but when you're talking to like the villagers, they're like, okay, well, let's do this character like he was this actor, and let's throw in a bunch of ad libs in between that makes it sound more like this actor, but it's irrelevant to the point being made, which is cool. I mean, it's a way to make it fun. Uh, I think Quest for Glory 4 is probably my favorite one. Now I'm just talking about adventure games while the game we just beat is sitting here sort of idling. So, um, I'm at a bit of a loss. I guess it's gonna be an early stop today. I mean, I could hop right into Loom right now, but um, I'd like to do a little bit more planning before that. Let's fiddle. Call it a preview. Why not? Well, because you can beat Loom in like 20, 30 minutes, really, if you're kind of. That would be cool. And there are elements of the LucasArts fandom where I wish they did a little bit more to the level that you see on the Sierra fandom with all the many, many fan remakes that by the time they come out, they're pretty friggin' awesome. And, even if they do get stuck in a interpreter that rarely gets updated, which now that it's part of ScumVM might actually be, but I went to update my Raspberry Pi the other day, right? And I have it running RetroPie, and so it updated everything. And I'm pretty sure it spent over a day compiling ScumVM, which implies to me that ScumVM is way too big now. Um, I've been seeing more and more of this like ScumVM X, which is a version that can have the graphics swapped out. I'm seeing Rogue VM, where it's people have decided to fork it off in different areas. I think we need them to go full Blizzard on this and make ScumVM classic. And there's make it Adventure VM for the double, even though I guess that doesn't work because some of the games aren't typical adventure games. But I'm starting to wonder if the version of ScumVM, at least that's packed in with some of the games that you can purchase, still like through, yeah. See if they at least compile it stripped right down without all the other engines in there, so it can at least focus on Scum as its primary thing, and that would make the overall launcher size way lower too. I notice you never see any of the skins or anything like that. It's all that stripped out to its bare bone launcher skin, which is the green and black theme. I love Scumium. I love those guys. I spent a lot of time doing support on their site for a really long time. Um, I think the orange and sort of red theme needs to be completely rebranded. I think the orange and red needs to go. Let's get something back. Looks a little bit more that era, especially with the popularity of pixel art and everything right now. That was cool for 10 years ago in XP. We need it. We need a new theme. They've been begging people to make new themes too. I made a couple themes for Palm OS way back in the day, and it's completely different than this. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much for joining me and going along with. Yeah, I love the original save menus. Although I've never really gotten it to work properly in CR game. I haven't poked around too much. At least maybe it's disabled in the Raspberry Pi build because I keep doing, and it's like, oh, here's your save thing, but ultimately it always goes to the same ScumVM save window. Yeah, they definitely need to dedicate some time specifically to Scum in that regard. I'm glad that they've been doing some iMuse improvements, and but some of the guys that really spent a lot of time with that aren't even doing it anymore, and it can't just be Eugene when he's trying to handle a lot. Um, because like they used to have three project leads, which you could divide the stuff up fairly well between that. When I was active, it was mostly just Ender, Fingolf, and Sev. Ender was he retired while I was still there and stepped away. Fingolfin was very much uh, getting away from it as well. But yeah, I should probably call it for today. Thursday we'll come back and we'll be playing some Loom and see if I can get some more of the content uploaded to the YouTube channel. We are now at Indy there, and so once the rest of this is done, we're diving right into the meat and potatoes of all this, in my opinion. Because we're Loom, Monkey Island 2. We're just jumping straight from great game to great game to great game from this point. And well, they're all great games. I've been the ones that I play obsessively every year, constantly now. Yeah. Yay! All right, thank you very much for joining me, guys. You guys have an awesome day. And I will be back at it on Thursday. Hope that I see you guys. Thanks again for joining us, Fnatic, and And ATM Machine, I appreciate your guys' support massively. And for the record, I throw you guys in the credits of my YouTube videos just as a special thanks every time because you make it fun and give me something to talk about. So thanks again, guys. And I'm being backed by children, such as my role. All right, take care, guys. Have a great night. Cheers.